being a freelancer as long as I have, I've definitely learned a couple things when it comes to what gigs I should take and what gigs I shouldn't take, whether I even just liked working with that kind of content. And that's gonna be the basics of this video. I'm gonna be breaking down on how I decide what projects I do take and what projects I don't take, and even like this one this weekend, why I actually took this one for free. It is 12:16 Thursday morning. It's late. I'm up editing a video because I have to get it done tonight because I am going to be busy the next 4 days. Lootfest is here and I'm so pumped about it. These are like, in my opinion, the memories you get to build. These are the events that happen because it's more of like a backyard hangout. That's the kind of vibe, in my opinion, Lootfest is. I'm also super excited because with all these friends in town, I'm shooting multiple episodes of the creative outlet. Why this specific Lootfest is super intriguing is because I got reached out to by one of the founders of the event, and they asked me to shoot it. And why I say it's interesting is because I'm actually doing this for free. Now, I've been doing freelance for about 2 years pretty consistently, and I would definitely say I'm at a point where I don't do shoots for free anymore. It is a Friday morning at around 9:30. I got done with the video yesterday, probably like 2:30 in the morning, so that was fun. Now I have roughly about 3 to 4 hours to transform that into my podcast setup. I have to do a couple other things. I got to clean out my car because I'm going to be constantly shuttling people throughout this weekend. So I want to make sure at least it's somewhat clean. And I will do a deeper dive into kind of what I do for this setup when it comes to podcasting and all that. But that will be a completely separate video. But yeah, let's transform my living room right now. Podcast setup is good and set to go. One thing just came literally this morning. Had to pick up more storage because I was quite literally out of room on everything. Not out of room, but it was enough to make my workflow hell. I always hate spending money on SSD drives and like memory cards because it feels so useless, but at the same time, when you don't have it, it freaking sucks. Let's talk about how I decide on what gigs to take and what gigs not to take. I break it up into 3 separate categories. Number 1, networking. Number 2, portfolio/passion, and number 3, profit. Personally, I don't feel like there is any hierarchy of profit is better than networking. I feel like everybody's different and I feel like everybody's situation is different. But for me, I really value networking. 1, because I love talking and meeting with amazing people. And 2, if I didn't network like I have over the last 4 years of my career per se, I don't think I would be where I would be. I have met and became friends with so many great people that have propelled me into areas and circles that I never would have dreamed I would have been in. And I cannot stress this enough when it comes to meeting people, especially if it's an area you want to be a part of in the future. Come with the most genuine intentions. As bad as it sounds, there are a lot more fake people than there are genuine people in this space. So if you can establish yourself as a genuine person that's not necessarily looking to get anything from that person, I promise you better things will come of it. Back in 2020, I met one of my friends. He was a streamer at the time. Then I come to find out last year he got hired at Esports Engine, which covers all of the Call of Duty events. And because I had that connection with him and kept up with him over the last, 4 to 5 years, I shot him a quick message just saying, hey, I was like, do you guys need any help for the event? Photos, video, if not, it's totally cool, but I just thought I'd offer my services out there. Come to find out a month later that I was shooting Call of Duty Champs, and it was all because I randomly met a guy back in 2020 when there was no incentive or intention of, getting to work with something as big as Call of Duty. We met in 2020 playing Call of Duty, talking about streaming and, all of that. He's one of my closest friends now, and we talk content, stuff like this all the time. It just goes to show you never really know who you're talking to, and if you approach it with a genuine heart, you never really know what can happen.
If you be into my Corolla,
we'll figure it out. Yeah, well, we got all my tattoo shit here first, and then we gotta figure out the rest of it.
First podcast of the weekend is done. Hi, Blake.
Hi.
That was overall great pod with Blink. Learned a lot about tattooing, and honestly, he was like one of the people I don't know the most out of like my friend group, so it was cool to learn a little bit about that. But we're here at the hotel at the Sheraton. This is not Lootfest day technically, but it is like everybody's kind of getting here. People are in the hotel bar right now, so I think we're gonna go have a couple drinks and honestly just chill for the night, because I think tonight's gonna be a chill night until I have to pick up Creed later at around like 9 p.m. It is late. We went to go grab some food. I wanted to go pick up Creed from the airport. We ended up going back to the hotel and ended up going out. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was gonna be a chill night. It was not. But let's talk about reason number 2, and that is portfolio / passion. If the project that you want to take is going to be in the area that you want to go into, whether that is sports, esports, weddings, more corporate, it gives you all the more reason to take that project. This one I felt like took more precedence when I was early in my career freelancing, because taking gigs that are in the realm that you want to go into, not only does it just give you reps, which are super important, but it gives you more options to throw in your portfolio. I remember when I wanted to get into the esports scene, I literally just brought my camera into a Call of Duty event and I started shooting, and I remember posting some pictures online and people somewhat started to recognize me and just get, my name was started to be put out there. And that was the first thing that was on my portfolio, is the fact that I went and shot a Call of Duty event. I had no agenda, I was shooting with no player team or anything like that, but it was reps and I definitely needed them. And when you are new, building your portfolio is so important. Just showing that you have some experience in the space that you want to dip into is massive. While getting these reps and building your portfolio, it kind of goes back to the whole networking thing, in the sense of no matter where you are, whether it's a wedding, whether it's an event, you get to meet a lot of people that are very ingrained to the scene that you want to be into. But if it is a passion project or a portfolio builder, it is nice to take that project. We're in the hotel. And today was a stressful day. I had a lot of moving parts. Not necessarily the event, it was more scheduling in the beginning of the day on my end, but I still managed to deliver about 66 photos, and I whipped out a reel, and that was like 40 seconds long. All that in about 45 minutes to an hour, which it feels slow for me, but I'm sure tomorrow will go a lot better.
Let's get it! Yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy.
How was stream?
Dude, it was great. We raised $320 to help out Anthros Foundation. You guys should also give to it as well too. I saw my boy over here working, dude. He was working. I'm getting some nice oils and stuff. So I'm working, man. It's pretty good, dude.
All right, I just got done dropping off Creed at the airport. The event is over. It was a really fun time hanging out with friends, seeing friends I haven't seen in a long time. But early on Saturday, I realized it was gonna be really hard to not only just enjoy my time with everybody there, but shoot the event and try to film, BTS. So yeah, I decided to stop shooting the BTS, and since I already had a lot of the context of this video kind of already filmed before the event kind of happened, figured I just ended off here with talking about a third thing, and that is profit. This has become more and more relevant as I've continued on my freelance career. It is definitely something I value a lot more, especially being a little bit more well recognized in the content and esports space. Profit, it definitely plays a factor into what gigs I decide to choose. I can be a little bit more selective now compared to earlier in my journey. Now, all projects are different and all projects vary, but this is my rule of thumb. If 2 of those 3 boxes are checked off and they meet the requirements of where you are as a freelancer right now, I normally take the project. For example, this weekend at Lootfest, obviously I said I shot this for free, so the profit box is out the window, but it was a great networking event for me. And it's in the realm that I want to stay in of content creation and in the streaming world, so I can definitely use it on my portfolio. Just at this event alone, I got to reconnect and work with the Juvie team a little bit, and I have worked with them in the past before, but that was back in 2023, so it was really cool to just reopen that line of communication. Plus they sent me a nice care package, so big thank you to them over at Team Juvie. I set this entire system of how I choose the projects I take because I found myself hating a couple projects that I've taken in the past. And the reason for that is they only checked 1 box. I've taken some gigs where I've made some really cool connections, but it was in an area that I had no passion to pursue when it comes to freelancing. And when I really dove into it, I realized the pay was not worth the time I was putting into the project. And by the end of it, I ended up hating the project, and that's the whole reason why I set the system in place. On the contrary, if you can find a project that checks all 3 of those boxes, that's what I would consider a dream project. Now let me just make this very clear, I do not take many shoots for free anymore. Lootfest is just one of those events where it's a perfect storm, where there's so many connections I can make, and also it's just gonna be able to build my portfolio even more. So in my opinion, those kinds of events are so worth it. And a lot of people would say otherwise because they're all about making profit. And trust me, so am I. The majority of events and projects I take on now, they are paid. They are absolutely paid. But it's in these rare cases where I feel like shooting for free is okay if it really does benefit you in the long run. And who knows, the people that I've met here at Lootfest this year could lead to paid opportunities down the road. But I will say everybody's situation is different. For me, this event makes sense. It checks the boxes. So I was willing to take that risk and hoping it pays off later down the line. But that is gonna do it for me. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video. I always like letting you guys into how I think and how I determine when it comes to this kind of stuff as a freelancer. And who knows, hopefully I can help some of you guys as well. But with that being said, make sure you guys drop a like if you guys like the video. Hit the sub button if you guys want more videos like this and to catch all kinds of other content. But until next time, peace.